I have no script for this, Matt.
You
but
never
then
do.
again,
You never do.
when do I? All right, you ready, my friend?
Yep.
And we're still Montana Basement Solutions. Yep. Okay. Ready to rock and roll. Welcome to the Flathead Home Show. My name's Justin Meccia, and happy weekend to you, friends. I'm having a blast. I actually just celebrated my birthday, and I did with my kids celebrated my birthday more than I did, and that's the beauty of it. That's really what hits you in the feels, you know. So I'm having a great time. It's a good weekend. It's a beautiful weekend. We're right in the middle of almost in the middle of the year. We're in the middle of June, and I'm wishing you all the best. I've got a great show for you this weekend because I've got a big announcement. I've got something that I want to give you. And before I do that, though, I want to thank my great sponsors, keeping us on the air for 7+. My friends at Montana Basement Solutions, solving your water and mold problems for good. I'm going to put emphasis on water because we have been getting a good amount of rain. And for those of you in maybe perhaps slightly older real estate, you know, homes that are 60, 70, 80 plus years old, you are likely sitting on top of a foundation that was built with, you know, yesteryear's technology. And by that, I mean probably rocks and maybe a mixed use of concrete. And that's not exactly how we build houses today. That being said, that's a bad thing. That's a fine thing because that's obviously still standing. Yet, it's not going to hold out the moisture or the water as well as today's basements. And if that's the case, if you're looking at water in your basement, if your sump pump is really kind of working hard, just like this guy, then call Montana Basement Solutions. They're good people and they're very knowledgeable. Okay. I have something that I want to share with you, and it's going to probably hit you upside the head because you're not going to believe it at first. And I say you because I'm looking at the guy in the mirror. I didn't want to believe it at first, and I'm in the industry, and I did not want to believe this because it doesn't feel right. However, the math doesn't care about your feelings. Here's the fact. Let me back up a couple of years. In 2024, when we concluded the year, which was not a very strong year for real estate sales, we discovered that less than 1/4 of all transactions was conducted by first-time buyers. Okay, and for those of you who are hearing this for the first time, traditionally, as we've been recording information around real estate transactions, largely thanks to NAR, National Association of Realtors. Traditionally, around 1/3 of all transactions are first-time buyers. Okay, so let's just go with 33 because that's right there at 1/3. 33% traditionally, historically, first-time buyers. We saw that number drop tremendously in 2024 to 23. That's a big move, right? A 10-point move is massive. And that's largely due to what were increasing interest rates and also increasing prices and decreasing inventory. So 2024, in a short sentence, was rates going up, prices going up, and inventory going down. Not a very favorable environment for a first-time buyer. So the first-time buyers just took a bench and they said, nah, we're going to sit this one out. In fact, a lot of you first-time buyers predicted, not because you had any data suggesting this, you just thought that the whole thing was going to collapse. And you thought that it was going to reset. And you thought, because your parents told you about 2008 and 2009, about that great big reset, you thought you were going to be able to grab a property at 1/10 of the price because it was going to go into foreclosure. Spoiler alert, didn't happen, won't happen, okay? Because we're not where we were in 2008. However, things have started to move more in your direction. In fact, what NAR is reporting right now, first-time buyers made up not 23% anymore, 32% of all transactions came from first-time buyers. 32. That's right back to 1/3. You took it back, first-timers. How'd you do it? I thought the prices were too high. I thought the interest rates were too. How in the world are you doing it? Here's how you're doing it. You're doing it anyways. You realize that if you don't buy, you won't buy. And if you won't buy, you're not going to advance yourself in this world of equity or this world of wealth building. You understand that 6.5% interest is a lot lower than 100% interest, which is what you pay when you rent. And the other thing that you realize, and I'm talking to you, the champion first-time buyer, the one that did it anyways, the other thing that you realized is even when you're renting, you're paying a mortgage. You're just paying the worst mortgage you could pay, which is called somebody else's mortgage. And if you really want to pay somebody else's mortgage, let me give you my address and you can send the check to me because I'd rather you pay my mortgage. Okay, so my point though is, friends, you did it anyways. Now, for the rest of you still on the sideline, look, my heart beats for you, and I've got something very special for you that I'm going to get to when I get back from this break. However, I want you to hold on. And I also don't want you to be despaired, okay? Because you don't have to be. Because here's the news. They did it, so can you. And I'm about to show you how. This is the Flathead Home Show. My name's Justin Meccia. When we get back, first-time buyers, I'm talking to you. For those of you renting, I am definitely talking to you. We'll be right back. Cool. Yeah, this is actually, I'm going to have a lot of fun. I don't even need this data anymore. So, all right, man, you ready? Yep. Here we go. Welcome back. It's the Flathead Home Show. My name's Justin Meccia. More data for you coming in from NAR. 32% of all transactions recently made up by first-time buyers. What's the average down payment amount that they came to the table with? 5%. 5%. So what's 5% of 100,000? 5,000. Okay. So what's 5% of 400,000? 20,000. Okay. So is that impossible? No, you can do that. You know what else you can do with down payment? You can that can be a gift. That can be a gift to you. That can be made up by a grant. Guess who knows of a grant? Who organizes a grant where you can get free assistance for down payments? This guy, 406-871-9404. Give me a call. I would love to point you in the right direction. Here's what you need to do though. You're renting. And guess what? You're not renting. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. Let's just call it what it is. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. So stop telling yourself you're renting. You're not. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. I would rather you pay your mortgage, and this can be your year. You've got more than half a year left to make a change in your world and become a homeowner. They're doing it anyways, right? 1/3 of all transactions so far, first-time buyers, despite these interest rates, despite these prices. Just yesterday, I had someone in my restaurant. I was talking with her, and God bless her, because I understand this sentiment. Trust me, I do, because I feel it. I'm in the industry. I feel this every day. She says, I just don't think we're ever, big word there, going to be able to afford a home in the Flathead. And I politely reminded her, wow, ever is a very long time. A very long time. Like, please stop cursing yourself with the word ever or never, right? I will never be able to stop that. Stop that. That is not true, unless you want it to be true. If you say that I will never be able to afford a home in the Flathead, then guess what? That will become your reality, and you actually only have yourself to blame. Just calling it what it is. If you stop saying that, though, you start to take the first important step towards homeownership, which is your mind. Telling yourself that, yes, it is possible. Because guess what? It is possible. 1/3 of all transactions have already proven that despite interest rates, despite prices, we're becoming a homeowner anyways. And we did it with as little as 5% down. And guess what? Your buddy Justin can help you find grant money in the event that you don't have that 5% to make it happen. Okay, I want to invite you to something. Years ago, actually a little over 10 years ago, I was still relatively new-ish to the real estate world. I was in it for about 3 years, and I came up with something that was a lot of fun. In fact, when I look back on my time in this industry so far, this one move moved the needle for me completely. It changed the trajectory of my real estate business. Had I not done this, I don't know if I'd be here today talking about real estate, because this one thing elevated my career to tremendous levels, and more importantly, helped me help hundreds of people accomplish the dreams in real estate. I launched a campaign called Buy Like a Boss. And it was so fun. It was so fun. In fact, I had a commercial for it. You can still find it on YouTube.
What's a guy got to do to buy a house these days? Forget about it.
You overwhelmed with buying a home? You frustrated with the process? Or better yet, tired of paying someone else's mortgage? The name is Meccia, Justin Meccia, and I want to show you how to buy like a boss. See, I only work with buyers, giving you the best possible service out there. You interested? Be a boss and check out buylikeaboss.com.
Bada bing.
But guess what I just did? I brought it back. The boss is back. So buylikeaboss.com is back. And what buylikeaboss.com does is it invites you to monthly webinars. Here's where I made some improvements. Okay, so historically, Buy Like a Boss was held on a monthly basis in an office somewhere. Okay, and I would put on quite a show. In fact, this is, I guarantee, the greatest home buyer class or seminar that you can sit in. Okay, I promise you that. I promise you. In fact, I will refund all of your money if you don't agree. And that means I'll give you zero back because it cost you nothing. However, for about 45 minutes, you get to, at this time now, Buy Like a Boss has gone digital, you get to sit at home in the comfort of your own living room. You get to sit on your couch. You can be in your pajamas. Doesn't matter. Just turn the camera off because we don't want to see that. And you can participate in a digital version of Boss Academy. And what I do with Boss Academy is I unpack conventional and unconventional ways that you can become a homeowner. This time, in June, so for June 30th, mark your calendar, simply just go to buylikeaboss.com and register. And once you do, I will send you the link and you will be able to attend digitally. And if you can't make it June 30th from 7 to 8 p.m., then you get the recording for free. Okay. And all I want you to do is become a little bit more knowledgeable on the process. This month, we're discussing how you can and should buy the home that you're already renting. I'm just going to say it. You should buy the home. It's not our dream home, Justin. I don't care because it's the first step towards the dream home. You understand that, right? Rarely does anybody wake up and one day they're 18 years old and they just, boom, closed on the dream home. I'm done. No, it doesn't really happen that way, friends. So stop with the dream home. What you need to do is start the first step towards the dream home and buy the pile of bricks that you're already sleeping in. Okay, just do it. Just do it. And then, because what happens then? It becomes leverage. Okay, you understand that day one of homeownership is also day one of wealth building, and it is tremendously powerful, tremendously powerful. So I'm going to show you at the next Boss Academy, buylikeaboss.com, how you can and should buy the home that you're currently renting. I will unpack how that works from A to Z. In fact, I'll even give you the language that you need to take to your landlord to say, hey, I want to become a homeowner. I would like to buy like a boss. I want to buy this pile of bricks. Now, here's the thing. What I'm not guaranteeing is that landlord's going to say yes. Not. However, what I am guaranteeing is that the landlord will always say no until you ask. And that's what we're going to unpack. So buylikeaboss.com, June 30th. I want you there. And it's easy. It's easy. You can just tune in from the comfort of your couch, dining room table. You could be at the coffee shop if you're there that late at night. I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that your mind and your ears are open to opportunity because I want this for you. In fact, you know what I think is better than 32% of all transactions being first-time buyers? 35%. 40%. And I think that you and I can make a difference. This is the Flathead Home Show. My name is Justin Meccia. Be safe, be well, have fun, and of course, as always, hey, Flathead, welcome home.